Welcome to the Nerdist Podcast number 782. This episode is brought to you by Mozilla.org, the new Firefox. Fast for good. Mozilla builds products, technology, and programs that make the internet a little bit healthier of a place. Since using it helps Mozilla grow a healthier internet for everyone, you get to do good too and contribute. Learn more and download the new Firefox 2 times faster at Mozilla.org. All right, Katie, what's on the corkboard?
I want to plug the Riot LA Festival that is happening next weekend, 29th, 30th, and 31st of January in LA. We have Jonah Radio on it, but there's also going to be a lot of awesome shows as well.
I got a should have plugged for that. The Roast Battle Championship Finals. Two of my friends, Leah K. Janian and Pat Barker, are going up against the other. They're the top 2 roast battlers in LA after going through the circuit, and they're both 2 of the best joke writers I've ever met, and it's going to be an insane final championship.
The whole lineup for that festival is great, and you can find tickets info at riotla.com.
By the way, just because a few people still are asking, what happened? Are you not putting out podcasts anymore? We're just putting out one a week. For now, let's just see what happens. But I do have to say, I feel like I've gotten a piece of my sanity back. Just in terms of like not being so exhausted when I get home, and I am useless to my fiance in terms of conversation.
You have stopped quivering and muttering to yourself.
I did. I feel like there's been a marked improvement in the amount of quiver muttering that was happening before. So, thank you if you care enough to be upset by that. I apologize. But,
hey guys, why don't you go listen to a This Is Rad as a fill-in episode? Now you got 2 things a week.
Or any of the other shows that we have on Nerdist. We have so many new ones.
There's a lot of new ones.
Like the Half-Hour Happy Hour, the Jackie and Laurie Show. We have a Bachelor podcast that's really fun with Arden Marine, Aaron Foley, and Eddie Pepitone.
Jenna Elfman and Bodie Elfman are doing a podcast.
That one's called Kicking and Screaming. The Bachelor one is called Will You Accept This Rose?
And there's a new one that we can't mention yet that's coming out soon that I'm very excited about.
Me too. I'm really excited about that one.
A lot of fun stuff. You should.
You should.
Yeah. This episode is...
It's my new favorite thing in the world.
You should.
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 No, you should.
You should.
You should.
You should.
You should. This episode, Will Sasso. I'd like to thank Squarespace for not pulling their sponsorship after. We're just saying their tagline.
We are just helping them rebrand.
We just love it so much.
Yeah, you should.
You should love them.
You should.
We
you
should.
You should. No, you should. Not we. You should, Kitty.
You should.
No, you should.
You should.
You should.
You should.
You fucking should.
Oh, can I throw another quick corkboard thing out that I just remembered that I wanted to hit?
Yeah, you should.
George Kowalski. God damn it. George Kowalski is an engineering teacher who, inspired by Nerdist to do a thing, put together a competitive robotics team with his students. And they're going to First Stronghold, and they just want Nerdist fans to send happy mojo energy from the universe their way.
Can they send it? Is there any social media or anything?
There's not. They didn't even put their team name. Thanks, George Kowalski. Good engineers, often not good at social media and promoting things, but it's going to be at the first robotics competition called First Stronghold. I imagine you can go to search First Stronghold Robotics Competition.
First of all, George, congratulations. That's awesome. Second of all, if you are wondering whether or not you need to include your social media when you send a request to the Nerdist Community Corkboard,
Please do.
No!
Oh, you should.
Wait, are you joking or for real right now, Katie? Did you really fuck that up?
I wonder if please do is the first. Please do. No, it's...
Please do is the lucky rabbit before Mickey Mouse.
Your accidental... Katie,
oh, your face right now is so good. Your
accidental comedy bomb was amazing.
Well, because I was also thinking, I was like, we should also tell them to put their last names because they fucking never put their last names.
Please do put your last name.
All right. This episode is Will... Katie, I love you. This episode is Will Sasso, who's promoting 10-Minute Podcast and Shameless Sundays at 9 p.m. on Showtime. He's an old buddy of mine, a good dude, and he fucking makes me laugh. And Matt was supposed to be on this episode, and then he couldn't last minute. He had to go away for travel. I had April Richardson sit in. She's been on tour with me. And she was just having she'd been real bummed the previous couple days because David Bowie had just passed away, and so
she pulled up to this episode blasting Moon Age Daydream, and I was like, God, I love April Richardson.
she's amazing, and so so she said on the podcast, no one's being replaced with anybody. It's just she was just here, and so I brought her in. So I Worry about that, Matt.
It's bonus April.
It's bonus April. Enchanted April.
Yeah.
Here's Nerdist Podcast number 782 with Will Sasso.
You should.
God damn it. Katie, roll the thing. You should. Katie, you should roll the thing.
Oh, we're all on it today.
Katie? Katie.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Please do.
Oh, please do.
Oh, yeah.
No. I have the power to edit this out.
You won't because you know it's funny.
I won't.
That was that moment of who needs a Quickie Mart? Their floors are sticky Mart. Let's throw a Bricky Mart. The Quickie Mart is dope. That was that moment.
Now entering Nerdist.com.
What's up, Will Sasso?
Not much, man. How's about you?
Good. What's happening?
Well, this and that.
Well,
I was in the neighborhood.
Oh, nice. What are you working on right now?
Right now, shit, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, things that take like 2 or 3 days aren't worth talking about.
It was no one could see your face, but you actually were like, "Oh, I'm working on nothing." No, it was just that.
Yeah, there's things out there, right? There's things out there that are happening right now, currently with me, but I don't watch TV or any of that shit, so I don't really know. I do IMDb myself. I'm not trying to sound like I'm not.
How's your star meter, Will?
Oh, fuck. I'm right now, currently, not to brag, 28,560.
Whoa, dude! How'd you get up
I
there?
don't know. I just passed the second cast of Dukes of Hazzard. Not Vance, but Coy.
This is a genuine question, though. How is the star meter determined? How is the rank?
I don't know how the
What
star
is-
meter works.
It is when, like, on the week that you have something coming out.
Oh.
It probably
And it has to be a
So
big
Googling
movie.
yourself repeatedly will not make it
No,
rise.
I think IMDb. I'm sure it's some algorithm between how much are people being searched on IMDb versus like how much they're appearing in their news feed or something. I honestly don't know.
Oh, okay.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I remember someone trying to verse me on it when it was like, well, this thing is coming out, and I don't give a fuck, and it's like, yeah, because I got this thing. Don't give a fuck about that either. And then, from what I understand, it's you've got something coming out, and people are. It's like the metrics or the meta tagging within IMDb.
Right.
So it's how much people are entering your name into IMDb.
Do you remember Hollywood Stock Exchange?
No.
It was a thing.
I vaguely do
It happened
remember
about maybe 10 or 12 years ago. I think Machinima is in the building now, but it's this really cool building in West Hollywood. And Hollywood Stock Exchange was basically you'd sign up and people would trade celebrities like stocks. So you would.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then it worked like it was a fake stock market, but it worked like the stock market. So there were trends.
it
And
would be
there
like
were,
Tom Cruise is up 4 points
exactly,
this week or whatever.
Exactly. So you could buy and trade people. Like,
And now we
celebrities.
don't need that because casting people just look at Instagram.
Yeah, they just look at Instagram.
right.
Yeah, that's all they.
Is
they
that
just look at
true?
Well, that's what all I hear from actor friends of mine are like.
They look to like they're like if you have X amount of followers, we'll
I have
cast
so
you
many
in this
friends that
thing.
are like, "Oh, I lost a role to this guy or this gal because they have more Instagram followers, or they have more Twitter followers." I mean,
Which
that's
is-
what I hear.
That's pretty shocking, also because you can buy followers on any.
True.
thing,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean?
But you got like 2 million followers on
Yeah.
Twitter.
No,
don't you?
No. I'm not a.
Oh, I thought you had like a big giant following.
Ish. I don't know. I'm sitting in front of
Look,
Chris Hardwick for
quit-
fuck's sake.
Quit sleeping on the dick pics.
Oh, I'm jerking off now. Oh my god! I didn't want to sell you out and say you were jerking off. I was
Slap
just gonna,
it.
Oh my goodness, he's slapping it. I was just gonna say he's rubbing his hands together, but there's something in between them.
First 2 rows make it wet.
Splash zone.
You're in the splash zone. What is this character? I don't know. I don't know if I like him.
The guy who jerks off on stage.
Yeah.
That character.
2016 Gallagher.
It's a character I'm working on. Don't be weird, you guys. It's a character.
It's a character I'm working
Totally.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a pretty cool alt prop comic who
Yeah.
just jerks off into the launches gigantic.
I have the one prop. It's attached to me. It goes with me everywhere.
I mean, I'll jerk off onto a watermelon
Yeah.
or a
No.
cantaloupe or whatever.
No.
what
This is
have you.
art.
Yeah, I
Speaking of
smashed
dicks.
a watermelon
Dick's the
with
new
my
mallet.
dick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you thought of maybe posting dick pics to your Instagram in order to increase these followers?
You know, I have never. I'm proud to admit I've never sent a dick pic. Ever to anyone privately.
Right.
Never,
I haven't either,
ever.
actually.
Why would anybody do that? I just kind of feel like if you're sending a dick pic, what is it?
Wait a minute. You're
Calm
going to
down,
defend this?
I actually no. Oh God, what am I about to say on a permanent record? No, I'm not defending it in blanket terms.
Yes,
but I'm saying as a person who is in 2 long distance relationships in a row.
Sure.
They can come in handy in that context. I'd want 0 of them from strangers.
Okay,
It literally
that
comes in here?
Yay!
No, but why? But so is it just to like, is it to remind you of what it... Oh, right,
Kinda.
this.
Or be like, you want this, right? And
I think
it's
that's
like,
okay.
Yeah, and then that...
In a relationship, it's all right. It's different than just like, just going like, hey, this is my dick, to
Exactly.
somebody. Right.
Yeah.
If you're in a relationship and you have to sort of get around it. I've been
Then
in long
it's like,
distance
remember this
relationships.
dick?
Great.
And it's
So how does
sweet.
our delivery guy get into your building? Which one do you...
Yeah. It's,
I actually was having this conversation with a friend recently who just went through a breakup, and she was like, where she's dating a couple guys, and she's like, well, how do I how do I come off? Give me the straight guy shit on how I come off towards men if I'm sending a little cheesecake, and I like to use cheesecake as the
love
term
it.
because I'm from the 40s.
yes.
Cheesecake is a term for what?
Endearing.
That's like
pinup stuff.
pinup stuff.
Oh, okay.
Cheesecake.
She's sending
naughty pictures.
She's
of cheesecake.
sending these guys pictures of her painted on the side of bombers. That's what cheesecake is. That's what it is.
And then we can do it.
Yes, exactly. It's like, does this get you hot?
Yeah. Send this one to Mr. Hitler.
Exactly. These are my tits, see? Yeah. Yes. Totally like that.
Yeah, this is Broken English. It's written by Tokyo Rose. I knew it. I got catfished by Tokyo Rose.
Spread those gams.
So,
Yes.
but oh my God. But so she's like, I was like going, well, just send your pretty face or just send everything but your face. Like
Yes.
I was trying to
No,
advise.
yes.
Not both.
Right. Because I'm
Exactly.
like, because she was in a long-term relationship and I'm like, now that you're testing the waters, it's like, you can't just trust a guy with stuff. And she's like, yeah, I would hope that this guy wouldn't share. Now, getting back to what you're saying, it's like, if you're in a relationship, look, I was in a long-term relationship that was long distance and I'm still good friends with the gal. And after we broke up, and we were together 5 years, and she's like, you need to get rid of some of the pictures. Like,
Right.
I'd be over here working over here, and she's back here home, and she's like, send something. I'm like, oh, that's lovely. And she's like, you have to get rid of it. I'm like, yeah, I actually
course.
do have to get rid of it.
So it's Will. I put all these
Well,
on
because you
Instagram.
guys
Which
trust
one do you
each
want me
other.
to get rid of? I
Yeah.
put them all on Instagram. So which?
So you can pick.
You have to specify.
Yeah, because especially now, thankfully, I think they are. Maybe it's in California, but they are developing laws to crack down on revenge porn.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah. Because didn't that guy go to jail? The guy who originated that actual revenge porn site? Like literally, I think it was like revengeporn.com or whatever. But the guy I think he's in jail.
I hope that's a
Yeah.
horrible thing.
Yeah, of course. But
I don't. Yeah, I just always feel like that stuff's always going to get out. You
Absolutely.
You send this, it's always going to
Absolutely.
get out. And then also, I just couldn't. I can't do it. I cannot seriously take a picture of my dick and be like, "How about now?" Like I just can't.
Yeah.
I just can't.
that's why it's only to people you trust.
I'd have to put like a Groucho glasses.
I had a gal who I was involved with romantically, let's call it that. She sent me a pic of her ex-boyfriends. Well,
In what context?
Because we're like friends, and she was kind of like, he's such a douchebag. Like, he just sent me this. So get that this guy dated her, and then I dated her for a minute, and then that's over, and it's like a few years later, and we're just like pals and stuff. She's like, look what so-and-so sent me. And I was like, oh, what a goof. Look at the size of that thing.
no. Monster?
So, yeah, I was like, I immediately brought up.
Looks like a humble brag to me.
Yeah.
Oh, look what I fit in me. Like,
Right.
all right. Isn't it weird that I put this big dick in me? You fucking humble brag.
It's kind of, that's crazy that she sent it to you. I did get a dick pic once as a wrong number. Truly as a wrong number, because I
Really?
think the guy was trying to send it to a dude. Also, it was gross. It was like a gross dick. And I don't even think it was hard.
What do you think? Okay, so what makes a gross
It
dick?
just
I was
was
gonna
like,
ask.
oh, we.
You know what they say? Like, what is it currently? If you've seen 3 dicks, you've seen them all. Like,
No, it was like, okay, here's my thing. Again, I should not be
Buck
saying.
teeth, acne.
Yeah.
right.
Back knee.
Backney.
No, but like,
Backney. Dick Backney, I'm running for city council. That's a perfect name for that guy.
Dick Backney.
Dick Backney.
No, weirdly, my number one complaint, again, I hate that I'm saying this on a permanent record that's going to be on the internet. No one listening ever send me dick pics. But number one complaint is when people have their bare feet in them.
Oh, man.
When they're taking them from an angle where it's like, you see their feet. Oh. That's the work. Cut that out. No feet in it. That's grosser than anything. But this guy, it was just like a guy's dick in his hand, and it was like, I don't know. It was like a weird color at the tip. It was just not great. And I'm like, what? And I think I texted back. I don't remember what I texted back, but I made it clear. Like, I was just like, no, thank you. Like, what? Who is this? And then he was like, bro. Like, it was a gay dude clearly, like, trying to send it to another dude. And I was like, this is a wrong number on many levels. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not
Check the expiration date on that tip. I think that might have gone off. Well, my
it just was not a flattering angle. It was not great.
A friend of mine someone was going to come pick up a couch at his house that he was getting rid of, and the guy he got a text from the guy, accidental text of the guy's dick, like just like standing in front of a mirror,
No.
and then he just had to respond like, "So are you still coming to get that couch?"
Oh my god!
there was nowhere.
So is this what you're going to use the couch for? What did the guy say in response?
Didn't respond. Didn't show up.
Did not want that couch.
Yeah, of course.
Enough. Or he doesn't understand that the couch thing on Craigslist just means like send me a picture of you full scale with your dick, and I'll say yes or no.
Couch, wink, wink.
Yeah, couch, wink, wink.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the proper etiquette is for dick pic sending. I just don't.
Well, you don't need to. You're like engaged. I mean, like, you don't need to. If there's ever a time that you and Lydia are apart for a long time, maybe.
I still
You guys
feel
don't
like-
have like Skype sex?
Here, let me just, if you need more time to think about it, I will send you the dick pic that I got.
Oh, thank you.
So that you can send it to
That'll
your
just be
fiance.
default dick pic forever.
And then
how
you
you
can see if
feel.
she
Why would I want
picks
her to
up
see
on
that?
it.
Why
No,
would I
because
want
you
her-
pretend it's yours.
But she's gonna know it's
Pretend.
not.
We can Photoshop it onto you.
But then when she sees me in person, she's like, I don't remember it. Man. I don't remember it having Popeye muscles off the side. That's a big. I just you just gotta do the growth chart on the door jam.
Oh my God, totally. Marking it. Yeah. Wow, 2 inches since October. What?
Sure has come a long way. Have you sent pictures to people?
Sure, but never with my face in it.
Sure.
And when you say people, again, 2
don't
boyfriends
mean,
I've
like,
mentioned,
yeah,
not just like send to all.
Well,
BCC. But and also only in draws, only my underwear, like not fully naked.
Here comes the
ever.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Draws.
Just in my draws, never fully naked, no face. So it's like even if somebody, because one's army dude, so he could definitely be like, hey, everybody, but it doesn't, the only thing, it's neck down. So I could just be like, that's not me.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know.
You got to keep all that in consideration.
I think regardless of your gender, I think you have to understand that if you're a woman and a guy sending you a dick pic, or you're a guy and you're getting not fully nakes, I would imagine, or actually I think it would apply to fully nakes, that other people are
Those are
seeing
important
that or have that.
Sure.
And that.
Yeah.
And
You have no control of it. You know, that's why Snapchat, I think, was so appealing to people for so long, because it would just disappear. But then, of course, there were almost immediate workarounds.
Yeah, but the two guys, I've only 2 guys, and both were long-term relationships, like long-term serious relationships. Like, it wasn't casual. It was in the context of that. So, which even still, you probably can't trust that. I mean, one guy I'm still friends with,
Right.
And I have so many pictures of his dick that it's like, I'll
it's
go,
like old hat
Let's
at this
go
point.
for it, dude. If you want to leak mine, I'll leak yours.
Yeah.
Like, so it's that sort of thing where it's like you see each other in a place you shouldn't be. It's like you know each other's not going to tell on each other.
Right. Well, also the volume of these things. Speaking of Dick Backney, in 20 years, in 20 years, Dick Backney's kids will be able to see his schwanz. And I'm not even Jewish.
Little dick.
Yeah,
So weird
but it's like it's. I think in the future we will find that there's such a volume of these things that it really kind of doesn't matter that everybody that is in the public eye, be it a politician or in entertainment or an athlete or whatever, will have some volume of this stuff out. I really believe that.
I think
You're right. You're totally right.
I'm not good at sexting because I always just feel like I always, I mean, when I was dating, I think one time I said to someone, I phrased it in the most unsexy way, but I believe the wording was something like, if you don't mind, please send me the sexiest picture you're comfortable with.
If you don't mind.
So qualified.
Oh, my goodness.
And like, please,
If you're not too busy.
Are you Canadian?
I think spiritually I might be Canadian.
Yeah.
Spiritually I might be
hilarious.
Canadian. Yeah.
Did she do it, or was she like, what?
She did not. I mean, it was just she just sent a. I feel like it was just a picture of whatever she was doing at the time,
Right,
at the grocery store or something.
Right. No,
Yeah.
these times. I mean, it was when I was like away from these dudes like for weeks or months at a time. Like it's not like a day goes by and you're like,
you can always tell when
that junk.
if you're dating someone, or I'm speaking personally, and then they just front load your phone with a bunch of pics. It's like, well, everyone's getting
Yes.
They had those on- you had to
These
bring
are
it-
heavy rotation.
To bring it back to Instagram, now we don't even need to be. It doesn't even need to be full nakes. But if a young lady is sending me a picture and then and it's not nakes or anything, it's not even all that not worthy of sharing. Meaning it's a little bit risque.
Yeah.
Little slice of cheesecake there.
Sure.
And then later you see it on Instagram. Well, then that's like
Yeah, you're like, you sent this to everyone.
you sent this to. Not only would I already assume that some other guys are getting it.
Right.
We can equate it
You
exactly
don't feel
to
special.
how many. Right.
Well, you have to be very careful. Like Instagram has fairly strict terms of service.
Oh, that's
rules.
right. Like no nips and stuff.
Yeah, I've only had one picture taken down ever, and it was a picture of a dog with a boner.
They took
that down?
Yeah, there was a dog on a sidewalk, and like legitimately huge boner just flopped on the
Was
sidewalk.
it like a Great Dane?
No, it was some sort of a pit bull mix.
Okay.
And the dog just had a look on his face like, please help me. Like it was this very much like
Somebody do something with this.
Come on.
Yeah.
And so I posted it and with the caption, I don't know, guys, a little too much lipstick or something.
Right.
So that when it went on Twitter, the people clicked on it. And I think if enough people report it as being
that's
offensive,
what's up. Yeah,
Right.
they'll take it down. Like it's a fucking dog.
It's a dog. That's crazy. Well,
Dogs get boners.
Yeah.
I have a friend who keeps her Instagram keeps getting shut down because she keeps taking pictures of triangle-shaped things in front of her vagina. So like
That's
just
pretty funny.
slices of pizza and stuff.
That's pretty great.
It's fun. I think it's great.
it's-
You're not
they
seeing the
take it-
vagina.
Correct.
Yeah.
But sometimes it gets kind of close, and depending on how big a triangle we're talking.
Is she?
Right.
Does she spread the crust?
Hey.
Heyo.
Is it stuff? No, but I mean, like, do people report her? Is that why?
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
hate those hall monitors so
Right,
much.
right.
Like that's like enough people reported a dog boner.
Because you could just not unfollow.
I know. I hate
Right.
those Instagram narcs that are like, I don't like this dog boner, so therefore it should be kept from the world. I hate that so much. It's infuriating.
Yeah, I got in trouble A handful of people complained at me. We're almost a month since Star Wars opened,
Right.
and we showed a thing on At Midnight last night that was a spoiler
Yeah.
for Star Wars. We had bleeped them out in weeks previously when someone would spoil stuff, but we're almost a month.
A month
in,
is cool.
Yes. I
and
think so too.
Yeah.
and so a handful of people got really mad, and then one guy said something like, you're not even taking into account, what if people's work schedules and the tickets they can't. And I go, oh, well, I'm sorry that happened. He goes, no, I saw it. I just mean, what if others were like, you're just inventing a person to get mad for.
Right.
That's unbelievable.
A person who works around the clock for a month straight with no time off.
And some people said, I can't, in my work schedule, like I couldn't coordinate it with my friends or I was busy. And I was like,
Right.
well, that's not the world's fault.
Exactly.
The movie's
Exactly.
made over $1 billion.
Right.
And we can't stop having conversations as a culture because you couldn't get your shit together. Now, granted, I know there are exceptions where people legitimately, something was against that, and I apologize for that. But I still feel like, at what point can we not be having conversations
Right.
because a couple people are like, we didn't, because that most of the people complaining just didn't.
But also, at this point, it's like I was fully expecting to get, to see some spoilers, and I saw it the second day, and someone did post a spoiler on, because I went like an idiot. I posted like, yeah, I can't wait to see, or whatever, like everybody does.
Right.
And then someone goes, dies, right? And,
Right.
And I was like,
they responded to you saying,
yeah.
I'm about to see it with
and
that.
I'm talking about Salacious Crumb, everybody. if you haven't
Yeah,
seen the
finally.
movie. Right. Yeah, finally.
That is a dick move for somebody to respond to you with that.
Yeah,
That's
That is a
huge
dick move.
move.
I never would have spoiled anything within the first couple of weeks.
Sure.
Because I
Right.
feel like.
But I also felt like, okay, now I know what's up. I still completely enjoyed the movie, And well, I shouldn't be speaking to spoilers, but I guess I'm just saying, like, oh, who gives?
There
a
are
shit?
other things
It's
to
still
enjoy about a
yeah.
movie than that. There are
Right.
other, if your only thing, and you know, or just prioritize better. Just prioritize better. I am, you know, like I don't know. I don't know.
You
what
have like
to say.
17 jobs and you saw it.
I did see it, but I still just, you know,
That should be your comeback. Actually,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right.
Yes.
Like, I have 17 jobs. I'm Chris Hardwick.
Oh, that would go over so well.
Yeah. It's real relatable.
Why don't I just send him a dick pic on a pile of gold coins?
Like Scrooge McDick.
Like Scrooge McDick.
Yay!
I'm taking a bow.
All right, see you guys later.
Award for greatest improvised Dick Pun goes to...
Nice.
Today.
Oh, I'm sorry, The Martian got it. Nope, The Martian.
Oh,
yeah,
damn.
because they're just giving The Martian awards that it didn't earn.
That is a comedy.
Right.
That is a
Yeah.
great
Oh
comedy.
my god.
What is that? What
Oh,
was,
that was fantastic.
why did that happen?
That was I was kind of loosely watching, but and to bring it back to social media, I was kind of loosely watching. But as soon as Matt Damon won for Best Comedy or Musical, and then The Martian won for Best Comedy or Musical, I did take to Twitter and just enjoy all of the feedback.
I mean, I think the thing that sort of bums me out about it is that, I mean, this is, you know, whatever. This is there are way bigger problems in the world, but I think the thing as a comedian that kind of hurts my soul a little bit is that it shows that this sort of the governing bodies don't give a fuck about comedy and they're disrespect. I mean, like, comedy always gets disrespected when it comes to award times.
Right.
When I really believe, and I may be biased, but I think a lot of people would agree, a good comedy is harder to make than a good drama.
I
really
agree.
good nonstop comedy.
Absolutely.
And so when they give a comedy award to The Martian just so that they can get Matt Damon at their show,
Right.
it sort of feels like, oh, yeah, comedy's whatever, not important. You know what's a great
Right.
movie? Spy. Fucking fantastic
God,
comedy.
totally.
Why didn't that, like,
Right.
much better comedy than
Yeah.
The Martian,
Right,
which
and
was
Statham
not
was already
a
there.
comedy.
I saw that happening and I was just like, I was immediately like, just not interested. Like, okay, bullshit. That's bullshit.
How can anyone? How are they supposed to take the Golden Globes? How are they supposed to? How's anyone supposed to look at the Golden Globes and go, "Yeah, that's a respectable award show" when they do shit like that?
Right.
It bummed me out. It just bummed me out. And,
No, I agree.
And I really. And I maybe there should be a comedy category at the Oscars. I mean, like, there are good comedies that deserve to be recognized.
No, I remember being a kid and seeing Kevin Kline win Best Supporting Actor for A Fish Called Wanda, and wanting to be an actor and just being like, wow, like someone from comedy, and always wanting to be a comedic actor and just being like, wow, someone from comedy can win that award, because it was only a year. I think that was 88, or would have been, that movie came out in 88. And Planes, Trains, and Automobiles came out like a year before, and I kind of feel like if that movie came out now and John Candy were still with us, he'd be nominated,
Right?
For that performance.
I still think Bowfinger. I think Eddie Murphy's performance in Bowfinger is so fucking phenomenal.
Really, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen
it's
Bowfinger?
great, yeah.
He plays two different characters, and it's just one of those things where you see what a really brilliant actor Eddie Murphy is, just in terms, because there's no self-awareness when he's playing a character. It's not, look how dumb this character is, or look how, like, he is that character, and he's so fucking good. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, whatever. I think it's just that, comedy is for clowns.
Yeah, well,
Right,
that's
right.
fine, and
Big
that's
dumb
totally
clowns.
fine. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Olivier said that when a comedian approaches a dramatic work, he does so with a warmth that few dramatic actors are capable of. Yeah, I might be
Really?
paraphrasing. Yes, but yeah.
When did you start? You were on Canadian TV first.
Yeah. I was on Canadian. Yeah. I got started, when I was a teen and stuff, and then so I was fortunate enough to be up there. I started on a drama that was like won a bunch of international awards and was on TV everywhere but here. And then I did that for like 5 years, and then and some other stuff and American things, and then moved down.
I have to know, because I've talked many times on this show about the Mad TV audition process.
Okay.
And how brutal it always was. I did it probably like 4 times.
Oh, I didn't know you auditioned for the show.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
And it's always just, so if anyone has never heard me talk about this before, I
Please,
apologize if
yeah.
you have.
I wanna hear
But
this.
it's just that really, it was always uncomfortable, because you were always sitting outside the room. You could hear everyone doing their 3 characters or 4 characters or whatever it was. And you would hear a lot, and then you'd hear a lot of like, there's the Chicago character, there's the loud, and then go, oh fuck, I have a loud Chicago character. It's like, the whole process of it always felt so soul crushing to me.
Sure.
Because you're basically auditioning for like 2 people
Right.
in a room. And how, what did you pick to audition with, and how was your process?
It was a combination of some of their stuff, and then I had to come in with characters. So I had a couple things I was doing and a couple characters, and I came in. One was this foreign guy who's talking about renting a bike, and he's kept the bike for a couple of years and doesn't understand now that he has to owe a lot of money. It was really hilarious. And then a guy who calls into the Jenny Jones show because they had that 1-800 number at the end of like, if you are someone who or someone you know is involved, and it's a guy who's like completely, he has done everything wrong and is I don't know. And then I don't really remember. I remember the foreign guy because we ended up doing a version of it on the show. And then I did not prepare any impersonations. I don't know why. It just wasn't on the audition
Isn't that
sheet.
something you do?
Well, yeah, but like kind of I was like, oh, yeah. I didn't really have any, like, I wasn't really doing them anywhere or any, thing like that. And so.
Did they make you do one on the fly?
Yeah, they were like, do you have any impersonations? And I was like,
Yeah, this is you. Do you have any impersonations?
Amazing.
And one of those things that you'd think was funny in the
Totally.
moment,
And
but
then
then they would not laugh.
Oh, there's the door.
this is you?
Yeah, I mean, I always tried dumb jokes, and they would never
That
fly.
would be
They
amazing. I would hire somebody immediately.
go. So
if
they go.
did that.
Do you have any questions? I do. Well, what font is this in the
Yes.
sides? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
those. They never. So I stopped.
It's refreshing. So I did a couple impersonations.
Who'd you do?
I did. Well, I just like a year previous or something, I had worked with Chris Farley, and I was telling everybody, just friends of mine, like the story of like working with him and how he was like just and rest in peace, just the sweetest man, and was an angel to absolutely everybody except for his assistant.
No.
Because he would know he was nice to him too, but he would be like, what the fuck, like just like get pissed at him over small things, and
Right.
like I ran into him later, and he's like, and I had been telling everybody the story about this guy, and I was like, oh hey Jim, and he was so happy that someone had recognized him. He was like, because usually people just go, don't even talk to him. They talk to Chris, but I was completely fascinated with this guy, this huge dude, like 6'6" with like a giant head. His hat wouldn't fit over it. I was like always just painting the whole picture for friends, and I go, hey man, how's it going? How you doing? He's like, oh good. Dailies look really good. And Farley was like, fucking Ted. I was, I was gonna say that.
Amazing.
This whole thing, and so I did that, and like just bullshit, like just like Jesse Ventura and some wrestlers and stuff, and then just like I don't know, and then and then you go to another one, and then another one and another one, meaning auditions, and then. And then finally they were like, all right.
How many did you have to do?
Artie Lang's gone. You want to be the new fat guy? So it's like, yeah, sure.
How many did you have to do? How many auditions did you have to do for Mad TV?
Like 4 or 5 or something.
Jeez.
Something like that. And then we tested, and then that was kind of it. It was really weird. It was very weird. I don't know. I think I got it. I think I got the role. I can't remember.
Was it fun?
Yeah, my God, it was fun. It was a ton of fun. It was a lot of fun. Actually, as we record this tonight, they're airing and that's not why I don't want to talk about it or anything. Actually, we won't talk about it. But they got the 20th anniversary of the show is the thing, whatever. It's on TV anyway. Who gives?
They're showing a 20th anniversary of Mad TV.
Yeah, tonight. So by the time this, so blah blah blah. Anyway,
But the show's
kids
not still
find it
on.
the internet. Correct. It can't be an anniversary when it was canceled 7 or 8 years ago.
That's so weird.
But also, 1995 is when the show started, and it's now 2016. So we fucked that up also.
Right.
Like it's 21 years. And I remember we're shooting this thing, and we all get together again, and I'm like, is no one going to talk about the fact that by the time this comes out, it's going to be 21 years? Because that's all I want to talk about. Like that we fucked up that detail.
Right.
Anyway, Mad TV. It's so much fun to get together with all those people again, and most of us still keep in touch. So anyway, who cares? We all got together and we shot this thing. Okay, so whatever. And then we just kind of look at each other at the end and just go like, fuck. Like next time, let's just get dinner. Like we all enjoy each other's company. And I think that's what matters. Anyway,
what else do you remember about working with Farley?
Oh my God, well, one thing I'll say constantly is he was exceedingly kind. Like there was one day where we were just sitting there, in between takes and stuff, and these kids walked by, and there was a security guard, and they clock Farley, and they run off, and about a half hour they come back later with like dog-eared posters and VHS copies of Tommy Boy and Black Sheep, and this was Beverly Hills Ninja was the movie that we were doing, and they come back and security's like, no, you can't come in here. And someone, gets Chris's attention. And of course he's like, bring him in. And it wasn't just that he signed their stuff. I mean, he wrote a novel on their poster, but he was like thanking them over and over and really like, it was just awesome to see because I revered him, and to be able to work with him. And I was like 20 and I get to work with Chris Farley and he's like, thanks guys. Thanks so much guys. Thanks. And like really personal with each of them, and asking them questions. And it was just, and I had the privilege a year previous with the same director did this movie. We did Happy Gilmore and I had a part in that. And it was the same thing with Sandler. Just like those guys were like so nice and I just remember kind of being like, that's a really important aspect
for sure.
to this business.
Right.
Because those kids will never, ever forget that.
For sure.
I mean, ever. He wrote up and down on their poster and on their thing, and it was just awesome. Like, he really was a king. He was just the sweetest. He was just the best. He had a personal relationship with, like, everybody in the crew, and he was just constantly making everybody laugh, and it just felt like, anyway, there's really, I don't know, it was unbelievable.
And then, of course, you were like, you guys aren't doing it right. So when you got famous, then you were like, get that fucking shit away from me.
Yeah.
I'm going to sign anything.
Leave me alone. Yeah.
Fuck off.
And nowhere, it also, you got to kind of get like, maybe take a baby step towards what Mr. Farley would have done and then be a dick immediately. Not even like, have you ever seen Mad TV? I don't know what that is. Fuck you.
It's the 21st anniversary.
It's the 21st anniversary. Weren't you on King of Queens or what's your... I'm not Kevin James. No, not that guy. The other guy who had like 2 episodes. Anyway.
Hey guys, just want to say really thanks for fucking up my samosa. I'm eating.
Yeah.
I just assumed that you were eating Indian food, and I don't know why.
I do. I go angrily eat
delicious.
Indian food all by myself. Yeah. I was in Happy Gilmore. For fuck's sake.
I'll have the tikka.
Yeah. God damn it.
You were in Three Stooges, though.
Yeah.
That's fun. Man, that was
a lot of
Farrellys
fun.
are fucking awesome.
Oh, they're insane. Yeah, they're absolutely insane. Yeah, that was a ridiculous process, and then we just smacked the shit out of each other for 3 months in Atlanta. That was like being in a virtual reality or something. It's like, because you're coming up with these stooge things. Of course we have this wonderful script, and there's an unbelievable deal of amount of just, well, what do you want to do? And we were all just the 3 of us, myself and Chris Demontopoulos and Sean Hayes, are like kind of bringing new things to the thing every day and coming up with all the slap routines and stuff sort of on the day and sort of doing it the way they would do it. And really slapping each other because that's what they did. And like Demontopoulos would like take me like during rehearsal or just bring me over to like Pete, like Video Village, to Pete Farrelly. Like, I was thinking, Pete, we should, and like would just hit me. Like, Willie, come here, and my face was leather before the end of the shoot. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
There was a pic on Reddit the other day. I think it was the Old School Cool subreddit, but it showed a picture of them in character and them out of character, and it's so funny to see. You just don't think of them as being sort of like suave gentlemen,
yeah.
But to see with their hats and their ties and all, like, no, they were just actors, like they weren't.
Yeah.
So they look like cool dudes outside of.
Yeah, they look like kind of cool dudes.
Oh wow!
There's a really fun. I think it's probably the Dick Cavett show, but Mo Howard is on the Dick Cavett show
with a gray bowl cut.
Yeah, with a gray bowl cut.
I think I've seen that. Yeah,
and it's just, I don't know. It's because maybe not so much for millennials, but for my generation and probably the previous generation, and for baby boomers. I mean, in those days of syndicated television, like Three Stooges was always on somewhere.
Always on TV after school. Yeah,
and I think they were horrendously fucked out of all of that money.
Absolutely. Mo kind of took care of the money, and at this point, flash forward, the Howard family doesn't get any of it.
No.
There's 75% to sort of anyway, there's a bunch of different things, like 25% to the Fine family, the Larry Fine family. Yeah, it's real weird. But with the movie, all the families were able to get on the take, which was good, and a lot of them were always on set.
Did they all fight amongst themselves?
Yeah, they're slapping each other.
Yeah, they were slapping each other. Pie fights over
totally
over how much of the percentages. They just got my business affairs guy's here, and it was just a guy with 5 pies.
Are you ready to negotiate?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
They just have pie fights. Just attorneys and business affairs agents.
No,
why you?
No. UTA's got to take like 10% of their slice.
Of the pie.
Yeah.
And, like,
Literally
and
of the pie.
Yeah, and then it's like, and this is your slice of the pie. Then you're just waiting for the
Yes.
joke, and then they
have to
smash
hit
it in
each
your
other with
face.
it. Yeah.
And he takes a little nibble of his part, smacks you in the face with your part. Ha ha ha. He wraps his up and puts it in the fridge.
What a weird time to have been famous, though, in the 30s.
Oh, my
It's such a
God.
strange. I mean,
Yeah, all the stuff I read about Curly is that he was absolutely a man about town and blah, blah, blah. And he hated having his hair, shaved, so he would grow his hair back, when they weren't shooting. And, yeah, he was all about it. I mean, he was hanging out at the Derby all the time. And, yeah, I mean, they were
cool dudes.
It was really something.
I never knew that they were like secret cool dudes.
Mo was a real family man, and to that degree, I think Larry was too. Curly was out there. Shemp was a little out there. Anyway.
He was a little out there.
Shemp got mad puss. No one who's ever said that's a weird phrase.
Shem's cleaning
A lot
up.
of fucking a lot of curly dick pics out there if you're looking in the right place.
But then you have to pose for a
You
while.
have to pose for it with the flash
bar.
bot
Totally.
going off.
Oh, I forgot to put my shoes on.
Shit. Yeah. We can't crop it yet. Actually.
Oh my god. Oh man, that would be awesome. Just a black and white museum of like Errol Flynn and Cary Grant dick pics.
Oh yeah,
they have to exist, right?
100%.
I wonder whatever happened with the Bob Evans. Didn't Bob Evans have? I heard Bob Evans had a box under his bed that had compartments of pubic hair from every.
Oh, if anybody would, it
woman,
would be that
like
guy.
all these famous women
Yes,
that he had.
of
been-
course, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
See now he never wouldn't have been able to do that now with the recent trend of the bald kitty. That's really interesting. You just gonna have to. He would be like, "You just gonna have to take my word for it."
So I used to have them come in and make an impression
Yeah.
in Play-Doh.
You Play-Doh.
Totally.
like in clay.
Like
Yeah.
Cynthia
Make-
Plaster
They're all
Caster.
against the wall of my powder room. Have a look. Is there a restroom here? Two doors to the left is a powder room. I think you'll enjoy it. What is that? It's the oddest backsplash you have there. What are those? Are those flowers?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about that.
It's not as bad.
Do you like Sissy Spacek? This is... That's her right there.
It's like hurting to laugh.
That, when you really do the dissection of that reference in context of that joke, it's like, first of all,
Why, Sissy? Why?
plausible. Like you
Yeah.
got the
Yes.
right time.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's such a pull. Like everything about it. Everything about it.
Well done.
Yeah.
Oh, cheers.
Very well done.
Yeah. Hers was jet black. She was a coal miner's daughter. Like there's so many. So many
Well,
good.
Gene Simmons has no. Who's that woman? The song they did about her, Plaster Caster, about the woman who claims to
Cynthia
have had-
Plaster Caster,
Is
yeah.
that what's up?
Yeah, she's the one that has plaster casts of everyone's dicks.
Of everyone's dicks.
Like
so that's
Jimi
like
Hendrix.
she's
and-
the original dick pic artist.
Yeah,
Like, that's-
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, she has like a Jim Moore, like anybody of that time, like she has a plaster cast of their dong.
Is there a book of that? Or
I'm
is
sure there is.
There has
Yeah,
to be.
yeah. She's
Yeah.
like a famous, it's like Pamela DeBar, like she's in that crew of famous groupies, I
Do you
think.
want to see those guys' dicks?
I think now at this point, why not? Dead guys' dicks and
Look.
old guys' dicks.
I guess.
This is another. You're
I'm not going to be
putting me in a
intimidated
very-
like that gal who sent me her ex-boyfriend's dick.
This is putting me in a very
that was a
interesting
robust-
situation because I want to see anyone's dick. Who's not curious to see what
Sure.
people's dicks look like?
Yep.
Would
But
you want to see Morrissey's dick?
This is the dumbest question I've ever been asked. Of course I do.
April's been to 150 Morrissey shows.
Yeah,
my
I'm,
goodness.
like, the biggest Morrissey fan. Of course, yeah, they're her. But that's not.
Wow,
yeah.
we're looking at dicks right now,
But the
everybody.
weird-
This little guy here he's trying.
Whose little pud is that?
That's the weirdest
Come on,
part.
guys, don't forget me. Like he's like the.
It's weird how
Buddy
many are
Hackett.
not hard.
There's one dick in there that looks like in an old comedy when everyone runs by, like the tiny little guy comes in.
Yeah.
Seconds later, "Ah!"
Oh, there's a European. That must have been maybe someone
Also,
from
you guys,
Scorpions
not to be,
or
as
something.
a woman, if you see it, you can tell a lot by seeing it. Me and my friend Billy have talked about this before.
What
like,
can you tell?
You could tell everything about their entire demeanor and attitude. It's like there are guy friends of ours where we're like, we just want to see their dicks because then we could be like, that explains everything.
Now, are you talking
Explains
about the?
everything of why you act the way you act?
Are you talking about perhaps the way a man would groom? Is that play into it?
No, size, shape. everything. Like everything,
Really?
you would just be like, I get now why you are the way you are.
Wow, that
tells everything. That's like
So, gentlemen,
No, I
here's
think you're a
more of a reason
savant.
to be
I
even
know,
more freaked
it
out about being
totally
seen nude.
Because there's one friend of ours that's like I'm not gonna say it. He's like super angry and stuff all the time. But like we found out he had a huge dick, so we're like, that doesn't prove our point. Because like, what are you angry about? What are you possibly angry about? Like you should
Too big to fit in anybody.
You should just be psyched all the time.
Yeah,
but for the most part, I think
sure.
that like that you can tell a lot. What am I? I'm saying too much.
see? Oh my god!
Yeah, that's her website.
What
It's
is
all,
that?
Yeah.
Okay, this is CynthiaPlastercaster.com.
Yeah, click on it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! So we're looking at like a.
When you click on the menu, it animates a load shooting out, and then when it splats, it gives you like
Yeah.
all like that sub menu.
There's like a bio written in a splooge stain.
And
here.
she's standing in a ball sack that has an
She's proud.
United States. Well, actually, all of North America.
Yeah.
Oh my!
In a ball
She's standing
sack.
tall and proud.
This was designed when like the Flash site's really popular in like 2003,
Oh, for sure.
2004.
Yeah, where's the
Like
site counter?
GeoCities.
Is there a site counter on there?
Oh, that's amazing.
That is.
She's a national hero.
That's truly amazing. So you
Yeah.
would want to see Morrissey's dick?
I think I would, but in a way that you. Why am I talking about this? Do you know the emails I'm going to get after this comes out?
From Morrissey?
From anyone. I get gross emails even when I'm not talking about dicks.
yeah, you're
Oh,
gonna
right,
get.
right,
you're
But I'm
gonna
just
get
saying,
pics
like,
of-
I don't mind. I'm just saying it's a sociological thing. It's not like I'm like, yeah, I want to see his fucking dick and rub one out. I mean, like, it's an interesting insight into a person.
Is there anyone's penis you would want to see, Will?
I mean, sure.
Out
absolutely.
of curiosity, don't you?
There's
just
all sorts of.
I want to see anybody's junk who's willing to show it out of
wanna
curiosity.
See, I want to see Milton Berle's dick to see if it's as big as everybody says it is.
Yeah.
Did he say it was big?
Oh yeah,
The rumor
apparently
was
he
that
has
was
a.
massive.
Did he have a
has
huge
Huge
dong?
arm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to
Milton
see.
Berle.
I want to see his dick.
But you know what? It makes sense because that's why he had the confidence to dress like a lady all the time. For real, that makes perfect sense to
steal
me.
people's
Because
jokes.
he's like, I'm
Yeah.
manly as fuck. I don't care about
Yeah.
putting on a dress. This doesn't diminish anything. Like, I truly feel that way about people like Iggy Pop and stuff where he's like, you know, yeah, I can just dress like a woman at all times and not worry
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
anybody saying, because it's like, I know what I'm packing.
I think that relates directly to how big your dick is. Now I'm starting to pick up what you're laying down.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
No, yeah. You're so secure in your manhood that you can just like.
You could just do whatever
Go into
because you're like,
drag.
I know what's downstairs.
Right.
So, yeah.
So Eddie Izzard has a huge dick.
He probably
Huge.
does,
Massive.
truly. He probably
yeah.
does.
Probably.
So Milton Berle,
Eddie Izzard.
Joe Biden, Alan Thicke, really?
I'm trying to think of who, based on that, well, I don't know, but that's just like my working theory.
Michael Gross from Family Ties. I know we were
Yeah.
all thinking it.
Yeah.
What?
we're all
Oh my
thinking-
God.
Pulling
Oh my
out
God.
the strangest.
Well, you said Milton Berle was real. I'm trying to think of anybody else that I've heard
Who
had
else
like a
is
giant dong.
purported to have a
Oh, Huey
gigantic-
Lewis.
You
What?
want to see? I
No,
would
he
love.
does have a huge dick.
I would love to see
Well,
Huey
because
Lewis's
That's the
dick.
news.
Cynthia Plastercaster. Cynthia, she actually said, because I think she banged him, and like groupies, there's a blog online that you can read where like all those famous groupies wrote that are like, here's the rankings of like who fucks the best.
Oh my God.
Oh, for sure.
No.
And like Huey
Yelp
Lewis
for groupies?
100%. And Huey Lewis apparently has like the biggest dick in rock. And it's in some movie. It's in some Robert Altman movie in the very beginning, like you can see it. He's got like a 10-inch wang.
No.
On top of creating sports, that's why you make an album like Sports, because you're confident. I'm serious.
Yeah, and that's why you continue to do that kind of music where, like, at that point, like 85 and everything's getting a little harder, and he's like, fuck that,
He's
doing
like,
it all for
yes,
my baby.
yes.
Like, he's like,
because he can.
he's
More
not-
saxophone.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Which
news
I'm
are all
always
like
on board with.
The news are all like having to do like doo-wop shit, and they're like, "This is lame. We're not going to get any pussy." He's like, "I don't give a fuck."
He's like,
I have a giant dick.
Yes.
Shiboo-bop-doo. Do-do. You know?
Yes.
David Lee Roth did some of that, did a lot of that too.
Oh,
Maybe-
I don't know how I feel. I don't know if he has a big dick.
Really?
I don't think he does.
I feel like he might.
I don't think he does.
Oh, yeah.
Although that goes
Yeah.
against my own theory because
It's real small.
he's got the confidence, obviously.
Yeah, I think he's overcompensating.
Yeah, but I have a whole
I
nother...
live my life like I have a small penis.
What do you mean we can't use that as a lyric?
Oh my God, first of all, you sound exactly like...
That's really good.
What do you mean we can't?
I reach
Van
down.
Halen?
That's what broke up Van Halen.
Yeah.
That's what broke up Van Halen.
Eddie Van
reach
Halen be like,
down
no more
between
songs
my
about your
legs.
tiny dick.
Well, there was plenty of room.
She's burning, I'm burning. Let's just hug because my dick is real small now. Heavy petting, Not unbelting. My cock's tiny. Let's just kiss and hug. My dick's small. Dun, 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 dun. My dick's small. My dick's small. Every dun, 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 dun. My dick's small. Dun, 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 dun. Wow.
Let's just kiss and hug.
Yeah. Let's just kiss and hug. Yeah. All of it is a Van Halen set. Or just completely redo his songs to where they're all not about
It's got
sex.
the same bravado. Yeah. It's got the same bravado, but
Right.
It's just all about
Yeah, he might be the might be the opposite of what I'm trying to say. He might be the exception to the rule.
I got it bad, got it bad, got it bad. I'm having a conversation with a teacher. Yeah. Got it bad, so bad. Yeah. That's fucking. I'll wait for another 6 dates. We don't have to have sex right away. No way. I'll show you my dick now. It's way too small.
The funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Janie's smiling.
That is amazing. I mean, you can tour
okay,
that.
first of all,
Fucking with the thumb dick.
You two, I want you two to tour as the Van Halen cover band that only sings about tiny dicks.
Fucking with the thumb dick, yeah.
I seriously want this to happen. I would come see you guys do that. Please do this.
Yeah, man, back in the day, we'd take them backstage, and Eddie would be there, and Michael Anthony and Alex, and we'd all go off to separate rooms, and I'd meet a young lady, and then I'd give her a gentle kiss on the cheek and talk to her about my horses and, the brown M&M story, because far be it from me to get in the way of a good rumor. Come in, sit down, make yourself at home. And then we'd hug and, neck a little bit and go... occasionally I'd go towards the sweater meat, always under the shirt, over the bra. And we'd get malts. And then we'd get malts, and Bob's your uncle. That's it.
It's the funniest idea to me ever. Him just hugging women.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Just a guy who can't fuck groupies because he won't, because he doesn't want anyone to know. Because everyone in the 70s and 80s knows about each other's dicks. And
yes,
he's like,
they do.
Yeah.
They totally do.
Yeah,
I've read that site.
My wife Sheila would kill me. You're not married, Dave. Yeah, well, she'd kill me.
Yeah, if I had a wife named Sheila.
If I had a wife named Sheila.
Yeah.
She'd probably kill me.
Honestly, if we're going to go here, because I totally think David Lee Roth's gay. And so I think his confidence is gay guy confidence. It's like theatrical gay guy confidence.
Yeah.
That's where I think it comes from.
I don't know.
I think he's gay.
Not when I fuck him.
I've heard both sides. I've heard that he's just I've actually heard both sides.
Which
People
I think is
get
rad.
very impassioned about that.
It would be so rad if he came out and was like, yeah, I'm gay. Like the dude from Van Halen being like, I'm gay. That's like Rob Halford style, where it's like, that's only awesome for like another not metal,
then
but
it would
like
be
rock
like,
dude.
oh, good for you, and then everyone would go, we know.
Yes, exactly.
Immediately.
Yes. That's how I feel about it too. Like in the way that it's like,
I think Judas Priest. Like to me, it's like that was the ultimate like fuck you to like any like
Hesher dudes who were like homophobes. Yes,
in the 80s.
fully.
Like, he's so leather daddy.
Yes.
Like if we go to
Hell-bent
Gold's Gym
for
on
leather.
Cole right near here, there are guys working out right now that look
Totally.
like Rob Halford, and I'm talking right down to like the leather straps and shit.
100% agree. That was the best when he came out.
Yeah.
And then all those like mouth breathing Hesher dudes who were like total homophobes. I'd be like, fuck. Yeah. Yes, I love it.
Be more accepting of people.
Yes.
First the lead singer of Queen, now this.
Exactly.
At least I still got the Village People.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
But one of them dresses like a cop. What do you say? What do you mean?
Yeah, that's super manly.
I understand.
Yeah, totally.
At least I'll always have Wham.
Yeah. Totally.
I mean, Boy George is a boy. He says it in his name. So Culture Club is... oh, man.
Yeah.
This sucks.
This is fucked.
I got who am I gonna beat up? Yeah, totally. It's like that.
Are you telling me all those dicks I sucked all those years?
Yeah.
Those dudes were gay?
What? Jesus.
What the fuck?
I still feel like we really want you to tour with Small Dick Van Halen.
Yes.
Dick Van Halen.
I really want you to tour with
Oh man, yeah, that would be fun. What other hits do they have? What other hits do they have?
Well, there was Jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
I'm trying to think of a new name. I was like Van Halen, but that's like if you have a big dick.
Yeah, no.
Like, what's a new name it could be?
Van Smolin. I don't know.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's
I
like
don't know. I don't know.
We'll
I think
think
it's
of
just Small Dick Van Halen. You just go
Right.
tour as Small Dick Van Halen.
Right.
Small Dick Van Halen. I would buy a ticket just going like, what the fuck is... Have you seen Small Dick Van Halen? No. It's fucking unbelievable. It's really weird. Well, how does it work? Well, it's just like, all it is Chris Hardwick and Will Sasso just kind of doing like, sort of parody songs of Van Halen. Boring. Don't want to see it. No. You don't understand. All the songs are about David Lee Roth having a small dick. What? Who gives a fuck? Just go see it.
Why? Why would they do that?
where did that even come
Why
from?
would they give up their everything?
It's so weird.
Why would they?
Yeah, it's just touring like nonstop.
Yeah.
They're in Japan right now.
Completely bankrupt.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's.
I was wondering why At Midnight's had nothing but repeats lately.
It's worth it for their art.
I gotta go do it, man.
Yeah.
This is really important to me. Literally, you understand why I need to leave town for a couple months to
really
go on my Small
important
Dick
to
Van
me.
Halen tour. Yeah, we used to have like a tiny tour.
I
bus.
have to make this. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
man.
ready. I'm ready, Will. Whenever you
all
want.
right.
I'm front row every night.
Whenever
I'll sell the merch.
Whenever you want.
Yes.
Do you go back to Canada very often?
I do. I go back a lot. I just kind of go back and
Do you
hang
perform
out.
live? Do you do live?
Not really. Not too much. No, not all that much. But yeah, I go back to Canada though.
What part of Canada?
I don't know. I'm originally from just outside Vancouver.
Nice.
And then occasionally I'll do some weird live shit. But not all that often. I actually started doing this weird, dumb thing. I don't know if it's kind of weird. But based on the podcast that I do, there's a character that I have a podcast called 10 Minute Podcast. Go check that out.
Yeah, with Brian Callen is on it.
Yeah, Brian Callen, Crystalia. They don't do it as much anymore. They barely do it. So it's me, and when they come in, and then my good buddy Tommy Bloch has been doing it.
Yeah,
with me.
Tommy. I know Tommy Bloch.
Oh, do you know Tommy? Yeah, I love Tommy, and he's one of my best
Great
pals.
guy.
So yeah, we've been doing it, and but yeah, so I came up with this thing on the 10 Minute Podcast. It's just it mostly was like kind of doing like a bunch of dumb characters because it pisses Brian and Chris off when they're themselves and I'm playing a character. But I came up with this like just whatever. It's nothing that other people haven't done. But it's my own spin on a comedian character. And then after a while, I was like, oh well, I'd like to do it at our next live show. And they're like, all right, so you do it. And I was like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. Be right back. And come back and do like a set of comedy as this thing. And then more recently, I've been like, oh, I'll just do it. So I've been kind of doing it around a little bit, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Just
You're a performer.
Yeah, I'm a performer. Don't always have to
Spread your wings and
Right.
get on stage.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah.
Fly.
Yeah. Versus the usual being in a trailer those 2 or 3 days at a time that I'm telling you about.
I think it's good. But the LA comedy scene it can be tricky. It can be a little tricky. The LA comedy scene.
Sure, absolutely. No, it's funny. I do feel like I love what I do, and I'm fortunate enough to have been primarily acting, and then there are other things that, of course, go along with that, which you understand. All the other things that you do so that you can continue to do what it is you love, no matter what that sort of top thing is that you really enjoy doing, that you find yourself, writing and producing and doing other things. But it's weird when I think about, because there's been entire parts of my time in the business where I'm like, haven't really been focusing on doing a whole lot of comedy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it is weird. And the scene here in LA is ever changing so fast. And it's very odd. In a lot of ways, I do feel like a 21-year anniversary of a show I used to be on is perfect timing because I got that Robert Evans pussy mold wall. I'm 76 years old and happy to just be gigging still. No, but I would love a pussy mold wall.
I think it's possible
To have a pussy mold wall?
For sure.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
know there's guys at Home Depot right now that could whip you up a pussy mold wall. Just go back to their wife and make them sit in a bucket of plaster.
Is there a male Cynthia Plaster? Because obviously that process is harder.
Yeah.
There's got to be a dude out there who's trying
There's
to
a
do that.
gynecologist on Robertson who's been doing it unbeknownst to the women,
right, totally.
sedating them and taking plaster casts.
I'm sure
there's definitely a guy out there with
someone,
that.
Someone's been doing it. It's probably more likely that it's a female artist. I would imagine.
But I mean, and think of that. You got to sit in like a bucket of whatever that is.
Do you want to have the term vagina mold in your search history?
I mean, go.
Speaking of things that'll be public domain in 20 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Vaginamold.org. Did you find it?
Yeah.
Artist creates the Great Wall of Vagina.
Wow.
400. Change. That's interesting. There's all these people that look like people that go to an art show.
Oh my God!
Just like sticking her finger in the.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Excuse me, ma'am. You're not allowed to touch that.
Yeah,
she's fingering the vagina wall.
Fingering the vagina wall.
That's hilarious.
It sounds like it should be a euphemism for something.
Yeah.
Just fingering the. How's work going? Just fingering the vagina wall day in day out. Oh, there he is. Yeah, that's the artist. The Great Wall of Vagina. There he is.
Okay, so it is a dude. And so he just got ladies to volunteer to do that?
Yeah. I guess so.
Wow.
Craigslist, huh?
You can find anything on there.
Anything you want.
Totally.
Will Sasso.
Pull string and nothing stays the same. My dick's small because I was in the bathtub. Whoa, the water's cold. Whoa, the water's cold. It's not my fault this time.
Yeah.
This is my favorite thing I've ever heard.
Well, I was inside just smoking and drinking a weird sign. I got a small cock.
I would buy an album of that. Fully would buy an album of that.
Someone should make a soundboard
I'm
of that.
small cock man. See me when I'm passing by. I'm a small cock man. I'm guaranteed to unsatisfied.
Remember when he
Not guaranteed to.
Remember when he went solo?
I ain't got no pills. Nobody. Hummily bibbly zibbly bibbly hummily bibbly zibbly bop. I ain't got nobody.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Amazing.
Good stuff. David Lee
Well,
Roth.
East Coast girls won't fuck me, 'cause my dick is really small. I like a French bikini, but they don't take it off because my dick is really small.
Take it off.
The Midwest farmer's daughter doesn't like my little dick. And the northern girls, with the way they kiss, they will not look at me naked. I think I'm good. Wow!
I would buy an
I wonder what other people in
entire.
the building are thinking.
I know, it's totally.
It's so great. I think David Lee Roth is singing
He's
about.
here. He's totally here.
Guys, I might have a scoop. I think David Lee Roth has a really small penis
we
because I
checked
just heard him
TMZ.
singing about it.
We checked TMZ.
I just heard him
after
singing
this.
about it.
He's singing about
I
it.
think this is trending now.
Yeah.
This is really trending.
Alert on TMZ. David Lee Roth confirms tiny dick. Yeah.
But it's just changing the lyrics just to say small dick. It's
Yes.
not even illiterate, fun, or interesting. It's just
And the hugs. The part you put
just
about
hugs.
hugging
It's
is
all-
fantastic.
So what do? They tour around.
They just
and
hug
they basically
ladies.
talk about the songs are all about hugging and kissing and petting over the clothes and having a very small dick.
penis. Yeah, it's really.
But that is that a thing that dudes would that we can stop talking.
No, go ask.
I was gonna say a real thing because I have a friend who dates a lot. She's amazing and is on every dating site specifically because she just wants to. She's like, I want to bang as many dudes as possible, and is very vocal about it. And so she does that. And a guy came over to her house, and my voice, this is the worst saying this in my sore throat voice. I'm like, yeah, smoking cigarettes. Like, let me tell you about dicks. Like, I feel like such a gross old hag right now. But so a guy came to her house, and he was like 6'4", lumberjack, like looked the part, and then pants drop. And she was like, "It's the tiniest dick I've ever seen in my life." And then so she was like, "Huh?" And then, but she was like, He went down on me for like an hour because he like knew he had to.
Completely right.
So that's the kind of thing where it's like the hug. That's what makes me laugh about that because I told this story to Andy, who then was like, the inverse is true. He's like, there are ladies with wide vaginas, and I was like, no, there's not. And he's like, oh no, that's a thing.
Naturally wide vaginas.
Yes.
Absolutely, yes.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm such an idiot because, like, obviously you see your dick, you can look at it and go, yeah, it's tiny, this sucks, I better, like, munch down there for hours.
Right.
But a woman will never know that. You'll never know that. And so that's the thing is Andy was like, he was saying how the girl he lost his virginity to he was like, I didn't feel anything. He was like, it was like sticking my dick in air. It was like that big.
The
and
band?
I was like, But it was like crazy. Like when he told me that, it blew my mind because I'm like, oh my God, that is a thing. And then of course I was like, what about mine? He's like, no, yours is great. Okay, fine.
If you put your ear to her vagina, you can hear "Sexy Boy."
Sexy boy. Oh, I'm so glad you picked up on the air reference and you referenced the song "Sexy Boy."
Totally, she was French, but. That blows my mind.
French fucking trippy music.
So weird.
Because girls you'll never know that, so you don't know what you have to do to like make up for it. Whereas a guy knows, okay, I know I'm not packing much, so I'm going to do other moves.
Yeah.
No girl will ever know that.
No reasons to be, it's like we don't need more reasons to be self-conscious.
Yes, exactly. And then so of course when he told me that, I was like, oh my God, I have the worst vag.
No, don't get
no,
self-conscious.
You don't. It's great. And I was like, thank you, ex-boyfriend Andy, for saying that.
Don't get self-conscious.
Cut to
that
girls
stuff.
blowing up balloons in each other to see how.
Okay, stop. Pull it out.
You won't know ever. You'll never know.
But it just all depends on people fitting together in certain ways.
Of course.
I don't think there's a standard. It just all.
Right.
I think that a man, speaking as a dude who's like, tall and large and stuff, so long as it's scaled to the rest of your body.
I agree.
There you go.
I agree. Like no girl is really like, oh my God, I hope he has a 12-foot dick. Like, no, you don't want that, really.
Yeah.
This is the weirdest body shaming episode ever of Nerdist.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, here's the exact dimensions your dick should be, or you're gross. Like, I feel like that's all I'm saying. I'm a terrible human being.
We can edit it out.
No, you're right. You're totally right. It's like, as long as it's proportional, like, who cares? But as a woman, you'll never know. It doesn't matter.
That's why little dudes with giant dicks are so impressive.
For sure.
Yeah.
For
Just
sure.
because it looks weird.
And it's a nice surprise.
It's like a guy with a huge face or something.
I think the first porno I ever saw was called Sex Roulette. And it was one of those.
That's such an amazing
I don't know, and because it was one of those '70s kind of porns where they're like they tried to make it like a movie. So it was shot on film, and there was an African American little person.
Sure.
And he wore a derby for some reason.
No.
He had a derby on and like tripod, like enormous penis. And so the thing was, he would. This is just what I remember from the porn. He would set a lady down on a table and then stand on a stack of phone books and have sex with it. Could you look up Sex Roulette to see if I made that up in my head or if that's a real thing?
And I would love for those phone books to collapse out from underneath them.
Oh my God.
And then it's a wacky comedy.
Yeah, could you?
Yeah,
at
when
least
I was a
afford
kid, like when I
Apple
first
box?
started like accidentally seeing porn, whatever, when I'm like 10, 11, 12.
Accidentally?
Well, in the way that like you're flipping channels and like,
what cable do you have? That's
we
awesome.
had whatever the wavy, like the Spice Network
wavy porn,
and shit.
Yeah, wavy porn.
And there were times I'd accidentally see a giant dick and
sure.
it scared the shit out of me. I was like, there's no way that's ever... I'm never touching one of those.
I just remember back, when I was a kid, we had, I grew up in a small town outside of Vancouver that was kind of an idyllic sort of upbringing. So, you'd go and you'd build forts with your friends. And,
sure.
And there was always a stack of nudie mags, like no fort
in the woods.
In a tree.
Always in the woods.
There was no fort was complete without a few nudie mags.
Of course.
Which would mean that they were tattered and the water was getting to them and they were all dirty. So it made it even more romantic in that sort of, I'm not supposed to be looking at this kind of thing, because the pages are stuck together not in the way that someone might joke about, but rather because of the condensation.
Because of the elements.
Just the elements.
Yeah.
You literally wound it up and put it into a tree knot.
Totally.
Or under a bucket.
I found it on IMDb. Sex Roulette in 1978.
Holy shit.
A lord's fortune is threatened if he can't stop his young niece from gambling it all away. Is that really the plot?
Yeah, exactly. Wait, how did you see this then? Was it also like a Spice Channel thing?
No, it was like a friend's
had like a VHS tape of it.
Yeah,
sure.
It was a VHS
Okay.
thing.
Watch
it with your friends and get awkward boners.
Yes.
And be like, I'm going to pee. I promise I'm just going to pee for a few minutes.
There was a porno that when I was a teenager that a buddy of mine like made copies for everybody. Like, here, like VHS copies. You can have this porn, and it made us laugh so hard because there was an orgy scene in it, and this one guy is really gung ho, and he literally says, to which me and my buddies that I grew up with still say this to each other sometimes. He just is trying to get everybody in, and he's like, hey, but he's acting, but it's not working. He's like, are we going to fuck or what? To like all these people.
Yes.
But they're all acting, so they're like, yeah, I want to fuck. And he's like, This is a fucking orgy, right? Are we gonna fuck or what?
The angry dude at
and
the
it
orgy.
always made us go like the director just gave him like it's improvised. You know, there's not a lot of script. You guys just kind of you're really excited about fucking,
right?
Okay, and go
right.
Long pause. We gonna fuck or what? So speaking of texts you don't want to get by accident, my buddies, or that you don't want your girlfriend or wife to see, will still text like, "Are we gonna fuck or what?" Like dudes I haven't talked to in 2 months.
I swear to God, I don't know this is.
No, it's an inside joke. It's a joke.
See that funny?
Comes up on your phone under a dude's name.
Yeah, we gotta find my childhood room in my back of my parents' house, and I'll show you the VHS tape. And it says we're gonna fuck. No wait, it's just a little bit further. Let me fast forward to it.
I promise. Oh, my buddy and I just call each other Jennifer as a joke.
We just think it's funny. You know, it's meta. It's really meta. Yeah, it's super meta. You wouldn't understand.
You're mad at how funny you think this is, right? Will Sasso, it has been delightful to have you on.
Thanks for having me, man.
Apes, thanks for sitting in.
Yeah, sorry, I talked about dicks the whole time.
I don't care. April Richardson now on tour with Chris Hardwick.
Yeah.
You
oh my God, we only have like...
at AP on Twitter, and
Yes.
you're Will Sasso.
Will Sasso on Twitter. And
I'm getting sad that we only have like 3 more weeks to go.
I'm sad that we're going to have to preempt Will's podcast for someone who has more Instagram followers.
Oh, shit.
Damn it. All right. You can come back whenever you want. I hope you start doing stuff around town.
yeah, I would love to do more shit, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I might do some weird live 10-minute podcast things that without the guys or maybe with them and whatever, but I've sort of come up with a new way to do that.
Also, hardcore wrestling fans probably know you from all of your wrestling escapades.
Oh, yeah. I kind of dig wrestling way too much, and that's weird. Tommy Blacha, the aforementioned Tommy Blacha, loves wrestling also and has worked with the WWE before, and we do a weird thing on the podcast that's sort of a wrestling thing, but just making fun of the wrestling nerds that we love so much. And fucking wrestling. And what else is going on? Oh, I'm on Shameless this year. I guess I should say that.
Oh, that's kind of a big deal.
Bearing the lead.
Sorry.
I mean, it's a pretty big show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love
what are you working on? Nothing.
No. I'm not working on it right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's very early into the new year right now as we're sitting here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I play an unsavory fellow on Shameless. So that's fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All the wrestling stuff that happened, totally real, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely all real. All
Jimmy
that
Hart
shit.
attacking you, totally real.
When Bret Hart, yeah.
I mean, Bret Hart
hit me with the
attacking
chair.
you, hit with the chair, totally real.
Dude, yeah. For real, though, that guy would Bret Hart is awesome, and we've remained friends to this day, which is very cool. And we sort of did, for people that are listening, we did this thing was sort of an homage to the Andy Kaufman, Jerry Lawler thing. We tried to keep a feud going. It lasted for around a year. But, of course, it culminated. It started on Mad TV with him attacking me with a chair. Only a handful of people knew this was going to happen. He beat the shit out of me with a chair. He bloodied my nose later, and it was all fun and good. And then a year later, it culminates with an actual wrestling match on their Monday night show. So I'm wrestling. And then, the cat's out of the bag at that point. But still to this day, dudes in wrestling T-shirts and sweatpants go okay, the when he attacked you, that was real, right? Because then later you turned it into a thing. But
who's really funny on Twitter that plays at midnight hashtag games every night is Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, he's a funny dude.
Yeah, he's really funny.
Yeah. He's very interesting. He's really funny, and he's been doing some live. We have a mutual friend who's a comedy guy up in Toronto, Nug Nargang, who's a huge wrestling nerd. And he's like, yeah, I got Dolph to come do some stand up and stuff.
Yeah, I think I heard that he was doing stand up.
He's funny. Chris Jericho's really funny.
Jericho's very funny.
And Punk is really funny too.
Although
CM Punk's not wrestling anymore,
right?
But he's funny.
It's really interesting when it's I'll do something. Actually, I said to Tommy, because I did this weird little thing. And back on Mad TV, I was always like, we got to have more wrestlers. Will, fucking calm down. No, wrestlers. Let's have wrestlers. It's a comedy show. Stop. So I've been fortunate enough to do stuff with all those guys. I remember we had Stone Cold Steve Austin on the show once, and then more recently I did something with him, and then I go, hey, would you do this thing with me? And he did it in one take, and I remember talking to Tommy going, yeah, I was just doing this thing with Steve Austin, and then I asked him to do this thing for me. He said, yeah, I did it, and he just got it right away, and just did it. He's such a good actor. He was like, yep, let's do it. Go fucking roll. And Tommy just goes, yeah, he's done way more television than you.
Yeah.
You forget that these guys.
They are actors, kind of.
They're
character actors.
Yeah, they're
character actors doing live television.
Right.
week after week after week. Monday Night Raw is now 3 hours long.
Right.
Jeez. And you go back and look at some of the stuff that Stone Cold Steve Austin did. Like, I remember watching The Rock going, oh, he's doing movies now? That makes perfect sense.
Totally.
Well, yeah, you don't have to sell me. Like, he's hilarious.
Yeah,
like,
and like super charming.
He was actually really fucking funny. Yeah.
These wrestlers are taking jobs away from hardworking comedians.
That's right.
They take their jabs. Will Sasso, thank you so much for being here.
Cheers, man.
And enjoy your burrito, everyone.
Enjoy your tiny burrito. It's like one of those frozen taquitos from Costco. You get a box of 60 for $1, and they give them away with a sample.
Got a small penis. Like it's just. He's just talking about shopping, and then ends it, of course, with that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing. I want an album of that, you guys.
So dumb.
Now leaving Nerdist.com. Enjoy your burrito.